Hey, what's going on, all you party people out there? It's time for another Before the Curse, or After the Curse. We never really know what side of the curse it's on. Welcome, you've got MMO Nightmare here with you tonight. Gonna be hanging out, gonna have a special treat for you tonight. We've got, we're gonna be interviewing the one, the only. Just a second. Oh, my door is closed. It's spooky in here. Anyway, we're gonna be interviewing the one and only Slenderbutt tonight, aka Catherine. She is playing a paladin on my in my D&D 5e campaign, where we are playing the Curse of Strahd. So here it is, the book. Boom! There it is. You can't see it very well, but there it is. Curse of Strahd plays every other week normally, and sometimes we play more than that. Anyway, thanks for popping in and viewing the stream. Go tell all your friends this is a great time to go and let everybody know about all the fun we're going to have talking with folks tonight. So certainly glad you're here, getting things fired up. She's going to be joining us here at about 9:45, and we'll get this show on the road. So in case you've never been part of Before the Curse before, what goes on is we get a chance to actually interview and talk with some of the players. And so again, play a 5th ed game called Curse of Strahd. Been going on almost, golly, I don't know, it's been a while now, almost a year, who knows. But go tell all your friends to tune in and listen, and then you're going to get to talk to the character herself, the person who plays her. You can ask her about her experiences. You can ask me anything about DMing Curse of Strahd. Oh, sorry, the music was a little loud in my ears. But you can absolutely ask me anything that you might have a question about. Let me get this music adjusted down a little bit in my ears. It was just killing me. Okay, that's a little bit better. Hopefully it's okay with you guys. You guys can ask me anything you might want to ask me as far as Curse of the Strahd or running Curse of the Strahd is concerned. And they go from there. So it's a 6-player game. So we've got a lot of people playing in this game. It's a lot of fun. In all sorts of ranges of different roleplay experience and roleplay or gaming history. So it's been great to kind of watch new players and old players and players of different ages all interacting together throughout their adventures through the lands of Barovia. If you're not familiar with Curse of Strahd at all, Curse of Strahd's a very interesting game. It kind of is the quintessential D&D version of the Dracula story. So it's a chance where you get to play a character, come up with a character from that genre, and actually get involved in the story itself. So it's really an interesting and an in-depth storyline, and the characters are currently kind of in a little bit of trouble. But I mean, when in Barovia, when are you not in trouble, if you know what I mean? But they're currently in a town called Krezk, and I'll play around a little bit, see if we can't show you some pictures and things like that of Krezk here in a little bit. But they've run into an angel. I wasn't supposed to say that. They've run into a character called the Abbot, and you're going to find out more about the Abbot next week, or excuse me, not next week, but tomorrow, if you tune in. And the Abbot is a pretty interesting character that. Again, I don't want to spoil it. If you guys want spoilers, message me. Message me and say you want spoilers. Hold on just a second. Type into somebody. Got some interesting news that I was reading here just a minute ago, which I will also talk about here shortly before Catherine joins us. HTTP Twitch dash. Gotta spell my name right. It's the right place. Bada boom. Alright, good. I gotta basically telling some folks to come on board and heckle my players because it's important. What's going on? All right. We're good. All right, so as we're getting ready for Curse of Strahd, let's see, player recap. We'll talk about, actually, we'll recap a little bit when she comes on, so that you guys can learn a little bit more about her character when she's here, and heckle her that way. In the meantime, let me see if I can pull up some cool things. I'll go ahead and share with you guys, if I can, or share some stuff. Hopefully. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna go show you D&D Beyond's actually done a really good job with their stuff recently, and so this is the campaign that the group's called the Wayward Soldiers right now. This is the deal, and so this is the current makeup of the different characters. And below here, this is what I call the death pool. The death pool, it's bleak, I know. I'm a terrible, terrible person. You can say, Nightmare, you're a terrible human being and you deserve to die for everything that you do with all your characters, or all your players. It's okay, I've accepted the inevitability of who I am. Anyway, these are the unfortunate few who have not made it, who found death in Barovia. May they rest in peace. Above is the players who have survived and continue to survive so far. They've only got a couple of originals. The originals being Bruin Bruisebeard, who's a level 5 Dwarven fighter. Dresset is a new player, or is a new character. He's actually been through 2 characters now. The other one actually had an interesting departure, but hopefully we'll bring him on the show next time, and you'll get a chance to ask him about his departure. Krezit is new, level 5 Dwarven Paladin. You're starting to see a trend here. The dwarves are emerging. The dwarves have emerged. Lucian the Undying, also a new character. Nyla is the character that we're going to talk about today, level 5 Paladin, Oath of Vengeance, played by Catherine. And Zuden Silverheart has been another. So there's only 3 original characters remaining from the series. So before we get started and Nyla joins us, we'll go ahead and just pull up her character so you guys can take a quick gander and see what she is working with. Show me what you're working with. And honestly, you guys will have to remind me and ask her, if you can remind her, to tell you about the story about how she became, or how she got the nickname Slenderbutt. There's a history there, there's a story there. I'm sure it's all very fascinating. I just can't remember. I'm a terrible DM. Okay, so here's our character sheet. Nothing anything too crazy. Just scrolling down, strength heavy, charisma. Holy crap, look at that +6 modifier on the charisma. She's wow, +6 to charisma rolls, sorry. But she is sitting at a 16 or higher stat as a paladin, go figure. Her passive perception's pretty good, passive wisdom, and of course the old dark vision works really good. Also very interesting that we're playing currently because of the coronavirus, Corona. We're playing in Roll20 and actually have the module loaded, and the new Dark Vision, or the new Advanced Sight or Advanced Fog of War in Roll20 is actually really, really good. Really good. Have really enjoyed using that. Hey, Winter Snow, thanks for the follow. Glad you're here. Our partner will be joining us in crime here a little bit, so you guys will get to meet Nyla Summerhane, who in a minute, and her name is Catherine, is the player. And she goes by the name Slenderbutt as well, so that'll be fun. Anyway, not anything just too crazy about this character. Now, I think that what she's going through right now is she's really learning how to adapt and play a paladin, and especially a paladin in Barovia, which playing a paladin and that zealot is never a super easy thing to do. Now, if you know anything about the environment, imagine playing a paladin in a godforsaken, stricken, cursed land that you can't commune with your god or your deity at all. It's just totally screwed. So anyway, some interesting spells just going down our spell list here on the right. Bane, Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Divine Favor, Hold Person, Magic Weapon, Misty Step. So she's been getting some new spells here with 5th level that's coming up. So the interesting thing is she does have this kind of mystical greatsword that is her ancestral sword. So it's pretty funny. It's also it's pretty interesting, but it's also the source of she becomes the brunt of many jokes because of it. But it's all fun. She's a good character, good player. So we'll talk about her background and things of that nature, and we'll get a chance to meet her. So let's see. Let's go to the phones and see if she's ready. What do you guys think? Let's invite Nyla. Of course, I gotta go remember where she is. Let's see where Nyla is. I'll just shoot her a message real quick and see if she's ready. While I'm doing that, in the meantime, you know, yesterday on my stream, I was talking about 2K games. 2K games, basically year to date, doubling their stock price. So their ability right now to actually generate a heck of a lot of capital in this time frame is really, really good. Well, interesting enough today, as reported by PC Gamer, credits going to Andy Chalk. 2K Games submitted with the FCC that they're planning by fiscal year 2024 to have spent $89 million in marketing. $89 million. I like saying that word. $89 million in marketing. The interesting thing about that, for all you GTA fans, is that that correlates to some history with 2K. And that history is that the last time they did this, it lined up very closely to the release of Red Dead Redemption. So Red Dead Redemption 2. So everybody's been kind of chalking it up and kind of going and speculating that the next big release. Now, here's another mind-blowing thing for you, okay? Mind-blowing thing. They also are planning over the next 5 years to release a total of 93 games. 93 games. Now, how many of those games are actually going to be legacy games or new, like Epic games, or are they going to be all small games? Again, we talked the other day that 2K really hasn't bumped into the mobile market yet, but soon they will, or maybe they will. I don't know. 93 games seems a lot, and they can't all be epics of this proportion. However, the interesting piece is that, again, they're going to be planning on spending $89 million by fiscal 2024 in marketing. And again, the speculation is that would mean that we could see a release of GTA 6 by 2023. So that's pretty interesting news if it follows the trends and the stories that they've been with before. So just an interesting article that I read and that kind of thing. So let's see what's going on. Winter Snow says, hi, I was going to throw you a Prime sub, but you're not partner yet. That's so weird. I know, right? I'm working on it. I actually hit, what did I hit yesterday? I got whatever the second tier is, but I'm not a whatever first. So I'm working on it. You can help me with viewership and other things. So anyway. I'm still learning the world of Twitch, guys. I'm really haven't learned all there is to know about Twitch itself. But I'm not quite an affiliate yet, but I am just below affiliate. And the only thing I'm missing for affiliate is to get my average user count up, or viewer count up. So tell all your friends. Glad to talk about anything that you guys would like to chat about. And again, Nyla is on her way. As soon as she pops in, we're going to pull her into the conversation, whether she likes it or not, and give her the old 1-2 in the nicest way possible, I suppose. She said she wanted to be here by this time, so we'll go with that. Okay, so meantime, what have I been doing? I've been playing a lot of GTA 5, as you guys know. We'll probably do a little bit of streaming from that this afternoon or this evening when we're done with Nyla. Depending on how late Nyla goes, we shall see. Been playing a lot of that, getting a lot of good roleplay in, and then I'm really excited because tomorrow, again, we go into the game again. So I'll show you guys some other stuff while we're waiting on her. Share my screeno. Screen share activated. There we go. All right. Go. So I'll show you kind of what we've been looking at in case you haven't seen the game before. Oh, don't look at my password. No. Fool you. Roll20, if you've never got a chance to Roll20, is actually a really good app for remote gaming. It was a little interesting to learn to use it first, and actually in Chrome it performs really crappy. So note for anybody who is using Roll20, don't use Chrome, use Edge or use Firefox or some other browser. It seems to work a little bit better. But it's got a really great system, and it's going to give you a good idea of what we're going to be walking into with her today, or with the party tomorrow. I mean, this is before the curse, right? So we try to do a little interview with a player from the party before the next event. And tonight's going to be Nyla, and it's going to be Catherine if she pops on and says hi and says she's ready. We'll see. But anyway, the party again in Krezk, all sorts of really cool things and pictures going on up here. But Roll20 has been really, really good for this adventure. And a great transition as we go into, or you're dealing with the coronavirus problem and the COVID problem thing. So looks like, oh, hold on, I'm getting a message. Stand by. Let's see if it's her. Let's see if it's her. Survey says... Oh, she's logging into Discord. All right, she's going to be joining us in the call as a different name, but that's okay. It's all right. All right, are you guys ready? Are we ready to talk to her? Here she is. Let's get her in here. Hopefully, she's going to pop in here in just a second. We're trying. Oh, she hasn't answered yet. All right, so we'll just keep talking. We're calling it the Backstreet Boys World Tour. Do I even want to ask? I mean, dude, seriously? Okay, so going back to pop back in over here to share my screen. So we can talk more about Roll20. Why we wait for Nyla. Stole it. Winter Snow says, "Lol, I stole it from Game Grumps so they don't demor." Good. Alright, we're gonna go. Here we go. Alright, so to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at here. Go back to the screen. I freaking heck. Sure. All right. So to give you guys an idea, this is Roll20, and again, it performs like garbage on Chrome unless you turn on GPU, which I did have, but it still performs really terribly in comparison to like the Edge browser or some of the other browsers. So this is Krezk. This is the town that they're in. See, is she here? Not yet. This is the Krezk, the town that she's in, or that they are in, and she's in. Krezk's a very interesting community, a little town. Interesting thing about Krezk, or some interesting notes about Krezk, is it's all very self-contained. And so they grow their own food, they lumber their own meal, they do everything. So most of the citizens of Krezk don't leave Krezk. They're there for the long haul. They're there for the generation. It's also way, way, way on the borderlines of Barovia. I'll see if I can't show you a big picture of that real quick. See how long that takes to load. But this is Krezk here, and I'll zoom out of the map here in just a second once it finishes loading so you can take a look. But Krezk, way, way, way on the west side, northwest side of Barovia, and it's actually right on the borderlands where the mystical mist that keeps people from leaving starts. So really, here's the town of Krezk, here's the mist, and then if we zoom out, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this is Barovia. So it's literally almost the furthest west you can go. And I guess you're not seeing my my mouse here, but it's where it says S on the map there. So way, way, way far away. And what's interesting, the players have just about spanned the whole map so far. So they've moved from here. These are the gates of Barovia where they came in. The village of Barovia here. They've been through Tesser Falls. They decided not to go check out the Castle Ravenloft yet. I don't know why. They had an invitation to dinner. It seemed like a perfect thing to do, but they just decided against it. You're not seeing the map? I'm seeing it fine. Oh, it looks like our friend is joining us. Can you hear us? Nyla? Nyla. Why can't we hear? I can't hear you, Nyla. Goodness gracious, we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with Nyla. Why can't we hear her? Let me go check this out. Nyla's here. You guys can see her now. I'll put her on the screen. Nyla's big now. Stop sharing my screen. Nyla, can you hear us? Let me go see what's going on. Why we can't hear her. Voice and video settings. Everything looks correct. Nyla, can you hear us? Nope, we can't hear Nyla. It looks like she's talking. Let's see. You can't see her either? Let me see my stream. Oh, yeah. Let me... that would be... Let me get this to be the right thing here for you guys. Every time I think I got this thing working, something interesting happens. There, now you can see her. Boom. All right. There's Nyla. All right, I'm going to hang up with her for just a second. I'm going to test my settings, and then we're going to call her back. So hold on just a second. Voice and video. Check 1, 2, 3. Aha, something is interesting bad happening. Go here. Check 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. All right, I know that's going to work now. Okay, so we'll go back and give her a call. Boom.
Hello, do you need more help from your loving and caring boyfriend?
We can hear you now. Tell Ryan to be quiet.
Oh my god.
Hi, Nyla. Can you hear us now? Because we can hear you.
Micah, but I can't hear him.
Oh no.
Really? Oh, we can hear you now.
Please help. Please, my lovely boyfriend.
The boyfriend is coming. The boyfriend is coming. The boyfriend is coming to help.
What? That's true.
The question we have to ask ourselves is how much has everybody had to drink so far?
You should be able to.
I don't know. I couldn't hear him.
You still can't hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. You guys can hear me on the stream, I hope. Hopefully you guys are hearing me all right. And I believe you guys can hear her, so excuse us while we work out these technical difficulties, but we'll be right with you here in just a second. Actually, let's go back and make sure I'm broadcasting to her. Hello, hello. Hello. Hi, I'm Chor McClure. You might recognize me from such shows as...
You're right, you can't.
Because the Is it because the headphones aren't on? Does it work better when the headphones are on, Ryan? Does it work better when the headphones are on? Who knows? Just gonna double check my settings here. Check one,
Check
two,
one,
three,
two, three, four.
All right, the mic's working. The microphone is working.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Nothing about you. Get out
Yes.
of here.
All right, cool. We figured it out. Nyla, Land of the Living, welcome.
Yeah, sorry, there were a lot of technical problems, and also Ryan's being an asshole. So
Well, it's directly proportionate to how much have we had to drink this evening.
Don't be an asshole.
I've had 4 beers, and he's had whiskey and such. So
Then we're doing great. We're doing perfect then. All right, so Nyla, welcome. You've done Before the Curse? Was this the first time for you to do Before the Curse?
the first, yeah, doing the interview and all that. Yeah,
All right, are you excited? Do you know what to expect? Have you ever watched one of these episodes before?
I have watched part of one before.
So you really have no idea what's going to happen.
I mean, all I saw in the one I did see was you made someone talk about their characters' opinions of all the other characters, and then I heard you just talk about RPG for like a while.
So are you ready? We've got people watching. We've got people on the stream inquiring about you, Nyla, and wanting to know everything there is to know about Nyla. So hopefully you're ready, because tonight you're not only going to be subjected to my questions, but the questions of everybody else. So I hope you're ready.
I guess.
All right.
But the beer helps.
Beer helps. That's right. All right. So Nyla Summerhane, tell us, just give us the bio on Nyla Summerhane.
Okay, so Nyla was raised in the Feywild, as the elves are, or my group of elves. We're like a small faction, not like your average culture of elves. We're very, we're very like not mercenary, like action orient, like warrior type faction of elves. Very into like, evildoers and fighting and honor and, doing good and that whole kind of thing. Very descriptive, I know. And so that was the culture she was raised in. And then, to be a warrior, and then, but she's a paladin, so their culture also is what I like to call ancestor workers, so they don't have... What happened?
Nothing. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got a text that was like from you maybe, but so very like ancestor worshiping, not, there's not like a specific god that they worship. So it's part of their fighting and honor is related to, bringing honor to their ancestors and their people. So the gods are the ancestors. The ancestors grant her holy power. So she, in session 0, I guess, she was sort of put on with your suggestions. She was put on sort of this holy quest by her elders, to sort of prove herself and bring honor to her, tribe or band of elves and their culture. And so she, they were like, here's the ancestral sword of your people, as we like to talk about my sword and how I love to talk to it, because it's my connection to my people, my ancestors. So it's like a little walkie-talkie, and then you can't hear it talk back, but it, it's how I feel close to them. So, yeah. So that's why she got her sword, and that's why people watch the game occasionally will make jokes about my ancestral sword, or you guys have other names for it.
Ancestral sword. It's the ancestral sword, because she speaks to it a lot, and it's really vulgar and weird. But anyway, We don't judge elves. You know, they judge themselves. It's all right. So all right. So in reflection now,
Just kidding.
in reflection now, do you are you kind of pissed at your elders that they picked Barovia to send you on your first quest to prove you on?
Yeah, they picked a shitty like trial, like quest. I'm sure I mean, I'm sure they may or may not have known how shitty it was gonna be. How it was just like this land on like its own plane of existence, and there's just fog and evil wolves everywhere, and there's just like soul sucking vampires and they were just like, this land seems like it's in trouble. It is cursed. Nyla, why don't you go there, prove yourself, bring some honor to the clan, and do some good and smite some bad guys. And I was like, cool, can't wait. And then it was horrible, and 0 out of 10 would not recommend for retravel.
Oh, so you can't give it 5 stars on the go visit Barovia rating?
No, can't just quite give it that 5th star. No, I cannot.
But Barovia just thrives on that tourism market, and you're just gonna take that away from them. Goodness, so angry.
That's just the way of the market, man. It's just how it works.
All right, so let's dive a little bit. Let's talk about Catherine as a player for a little bit ago.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about your gaming history. When did other than D&D, have you been playing a lot of games? You play a lot of games. What's your history?
Okay, so I mean, when I was, if you want to talk about like, I mean, it all started with people my age, probably around Pokemon on a Game Boy Color. If you want to talk about the very beginning, so Pokemon, Game Boy Color, blah blah. My dad was always a huge nerd. So he kind of got me started early with like video gaming and even like superheroes, so DC, Marvel, and then in gaming and I said gaming, and then even like anime. So after Pokemon, it was a lot of console games. There was a couple also like PC games, but it was those kid stuff like Putt-Putt Goes to the Zoo and Math Lab and all that kind of thing. Loved Putt-Putt games. That was the shit back then. So then console games. I remember playing on Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, then PlayStation 2, Xbox, original Xbox. My brother was the one who really got the Xbox 360 for talking about like timeline and age and that kind of thing. I think Xbox 360, I was in high school, and so I was like a moody high school girl, with girl problems and whatever.
No, I'm sorry, I wouldn't know about girl problems, but I'll try to use my creativity.
Girl shit, whatever. And yeah, but like the sort of like console games that I can really remember, I played a lot of Tekken.
Really?
Yeah, I really like Tekken, and then a little bit of Dynasty Warriors too, and then a lot of like there was a couple RPG games. There was Lugaia. I don't know how many people know that one. It had like a lot of like Final Fantasy type mechanics. Didn't actually play a lot of Final Fantasy, surprisingly. I did play Final Fantasy X, but I think I only got like halfway through. Then I think Kingdom Hearts I got halfway through, and then I got annoyed and gave up. And so yeah, and then I think high school there was a really big lapse in like video gaming. Still really liked like superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then freshman, like my dad was always like a really big MMORPG, that kind of game. So I remember him playing EverQuest.
Mm-hmm.
He played WoW. And then freshman year, I made friends with a couple guys in my dorm, and they were like, "We're all gonna play WoW," and I was like, you know, I didn't know anyone at college, and I was like, oh, I've heard of WoW. I like video games, and so I played WoW for, you know, like 3 years of college. Sorry, parents. My GPA reflected that. And I graduated, but you know, yeah, whatever. So yeah, and then after college, just I was working a lot. Again, that's when I moved to Texas. Again, I knew 0 people. I started for the first 2 years I was here. I was working second shift, and I had like Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. So I had like hardly any social life outside of work. It was really hard. But I came back to school, and I started getting into some of that stuff again. And yeah, and just, you know, I met people to like play, you know, video games with. I got kind of started up again. So I started playing WoW. I played WoW some more after a bit of a hiatus. Played what was the expansion that came? Not the one after Mist of Pandaria. What was the one that came out?
Cataclysm?
No, okay. I did play Cataclysm. Whichever the one after Cataclysm, I guess. There's too many expansions to keep track of. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so went back to WoW, and then started getting and then I had some friends. I actually remember I was at a wedding reception with some mutual people, and they were like, "We're thinking about starting a D&D campaign," and I was like. And weirdly, so I mean, this wasn't.
Were you ready to go that level of nerd? Were you prepared?
I totally was. This I didn't bring this up before in my whole history of gaming, but my dad was way into D&D when I was little. So I have a couple memories, you know, pretty faint of going to like his friend's house when they were having their campaign. And I didn't know what was going on. I just I knew that's what they were there for, but like I distracted myself with other things, you know. And then growing up, my dad had like a bunch of the monster manuals, and when I get bored, I would just like leaf through them, and I'd look at like all the cool artwork, and that's what I did. I was just like, this is a cool monster. So I remember like seeing pictures like the beholders, and I think my favorite was the gelatinous ooze cube. And I was like, that's so cool. I was like, oh, vampires, yeah, werewolves, blah, blah, blah. And like, look at this ooze cube, though.
Yeah. The gelatinous cube.
Yeah. It was just like, it was just the artwork, it was so cool. It was just, you know, this like green, sickly color, and then there's just like skulls and like helmets.
Everything
like
floated into it, you know.
Yeah, and I was
An
like...
ancestral sword.
Yeah, an amulet of power, you know, just, you know, yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Keep
there goes Nyla.
So, all right, so let's talk. Let's go back to Nyla. So, thank you for that history. By the way, this is the chance for all of you folks watching the stream to grill Nyla mercilessly. Ask her all the questions that you may have about Nyla, about her playing, about her history, anything that you want. It's all fair game here in the Before the Curse. So now let's talk about Nyla and the Curse of Strahd. What kind of a bumpy history, but you're one of 3 left. That
I know. I'm the survivor.
There's 3 originals. So half down, and Nyla's one of the remaining, though she had a brush with death not long ago, if you recall. You want to talk to our players about what happened there?
Are we talking about the lycanthropy? It was there.
Oh my!
Yeah, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
like,
how'd that
well,
go
I'm like,
for
how
you?
many times have I actually gone to 0 HP? I'm like trying to think. I'm like, there was the death house. Okay.
Okay, so the death house happened before the werewolf incident.
Yeah.
So talk about Death House. That was really your first experience into the kind of what the tone of Barovia was going to be.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was just, I don't know, I'm still salty about it because not the death part, like, okay, that was fair, poor Pact. But yeah, I feel like it was a really good intro and character defining moment where I was just like, fuck this place. But yeah, so
contemplated murdering small children?
yeah. Well, it wasn't really the small children's fault, but they were not, making my mood better at all. I mean, it started off pretty solid, pretty like it seemed pretty cut clear. It's like, oh, we're just children, and like our little brother's inside, and can you go help him? There's a monster, and I was like, cool, sounds good. Classic D&D. Go in the dungeon, save the people, make small children happy. Nope. Get in that house, and there's like creepy stuff that moves. It began the series of Nyla can't hit a monster, but she can roll natural 20s on performance checks like no one knows. So I'm just
not counting last game, because you guys as a whole had like unreal rolling.
My luck can only last so long.
It was a good start. You guys like literally had some of the best rolling I think I've ever seen out of this group. It was insane, which was good because last game could have gone really poorly.
Yeah, it was a confidence booster. Felt a little better.
Is it weird that we say that a lot? Last game could have gone really poorly. I mean, it could have been the death to everybody. I mean, it was almost a TPK.
I feel like every other session is like that. We log off the session, like still like in a shitty situation, and I'm just like, oh crap, like let me go check on that backup character I made. Like, let's do some fine tuning. Like, I'm ready. I'm like Nyla's gonna die. We're all dead. And I'm just like, oh god, what can I do? And I think about it for like 2 weeks. I'm like, what could we do? Well, I have like zero like AoE spells. I have like 0 distance spells. I'm like, I can't do shit. But I can like, how bad would it be if I just ran away?
Well, that is always an option.
Yeah, I know. It becomes a thing of like what I want to do just to like stay alive, and there's what's in my character's personality, and she would not run away, So it's just like
you don't want to get the ancestors mad at you.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad. I mean, it's not like if I died in Barovia, I could go visit them anyways.
True. Whoops. Soul stuck in Barovia forever. All right, so we had the Death House. That was your first experience, and we actually had a party death right there in the first game. You mentioned it, Pact got dropped and then got beat to death, and he died. And then, so after that, though, there was an experience where you guys kind of ran into your first werewolves, and it was at a fairly low level. The folks on Twitch want you to know that the ancestors are watching.
Thank you. I can't see the messages, so please relay all important messages from Discord, Twitch, etc.
I will relay them all. Have no fear.
Okay.
So, they are telling you that the ancestors are watching. So, all right. So not long after, you guys got a chance to. You went through the city of Barovia, where you actually first got to meet kind of the citizens, and I would say the macabre nature of what it is to be a citizen in Barovia. I mean, it's not a happy place, right? You went through the Tesser Pools. What did you think? And because I think that the werewolf incident happened shortly after the. I dropped my ring. I don't know where it went. Anyway, I'll find it later. The situation that you guys ran into. What did you think of the reading? So.
Yeah. I don't have my notes on me because this isn't my normal computer, but I mean, it seemed pretty legit. I mean, at least my reading. just like the past and in the present. The future was a little scary. I think I got the Temptress, or Tempter. I don't know what gender it is, but so I mean, so far that what we've been through since, it's not like as far a stretch to say that like Barovia messes with you. Barovia, you know, it really tests your limits. It tests your morals, and yeah, it does not pull punches. And so, in terms of just what what your character goes through, it's like, will Nyla just like lose her shit and say fuck it? Like, it it depends how many more things happen to her. And
So the reading happened. Then we had a certain party member stab a kid in the back. Turned out to be Strahd. There you go. It was just the beginning of fateful things that happened.
Welcome to level 3. Let's stab the evil man.
Yeah, let's stab Ultimate Evil. He is the land after all. Let's just stab him right in the back. That's great.
I feel partially responsible for that because I am the one who cast Divine Sense on the kid and announced out loud that he was some undead piece of shit. And that's what prompted Mel to stab him. I know, and I mean, we all lived. Kind of.
We kind of
it
quickly
could have been
forgot that
worse.
point, but that's a good point. It's you guys heard it here. That whole incident, not Mel's fault. In fact,
What?
Mel took the blame for
That's
it.
good.
But it was actually her fault the whole time. That's what I'm.
Okay, I did not tell anyone to do anything. I did not actually physically do the stabbing. I just gave the party all the information I had about the situation.
Whispered a little inspiration in their head. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted everyone else to, because we were all like, we're kind of like meta, like what is he? Like he's like from Strahd's castle. Like he's probably undead, right? Like I don't know, or he's just like a little like crazy serpent boy. We don't know. And I was just like, I'm gonna figure that out. I'm surprised you weren't like, the smell of undead and evil, it just like burns your sinuses. You can never smell again, like stuff like that. And so I was just like, oh, he's some, I just thought he was like a regular, probably vampire child. And it's like, that kid's a vampire, that kid's undead, he bad. And Mel was like, ooh, exciting, my first undead, stab. So
Rar. And that's actually the incident that led to you getting bitten, if I recall.
No. You implied though that werewolves were gonna show up anyways, so
Anyway, meta. That's all information outside the game. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so werewolves attacked. You got bitten. You got turned. And then you got bad.
yeah, that was not a good 3 days of Nyla's life at all.
So to give the audience a picture, you went through, you had the change, you escaped, you did a really lot of heinous things. How has that impacted you playing Nyla? Has that impacted Nyla at all? Is she carrying any of that with her, or what's the story?
Definitely carries that with her. You guys like to remind me every game about the small children I killed, so it's constantly on my mind. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to roleplay the PTSD of it all. Just like there's a lot of inner guilt. I think it's kind of gonna make her sort of like, be a little bit more like about like talking to the sword and being like, do you guys still love me?
No.
I'm so sorry. Like, oh my god. And so yeah, so I mean, it definitely also like just has her more cautious in general. Like, I mean, every single step in Barovia is just like, I thought it was this badass, evil smiting warrior paladin. But oh no, this sucks. This place sucks. I am like scared all the time. Like there's some bad shit here. You know, I'm gonna still try and do the work I've been put on in this land to, you know, rid of evil and save people, but like it's scary here. And so it's definitely made her, you know, she started off pretty like gung-ho about like let's go like, you know, smite evil and all that sort of stuff.
Let's
but
kick in the door at Castle Ravenloft and take him out.
yeah, and so
Not so much.
not so much. It's I mean she's mad. She's still low-key pissed about like everything Barovi's done to her. She's like, Strahd is the root of all this. She's still all about like eventually getting up to like stabbing Strahd in the face. You know. She like that that goal, that ultimate goal it's still there, but the way the gung-ho-ness about everything in between is just a little bit more like, okay, wait, maybe like, you know, let's think about this. Like, you know, there's some really powerful stuff here, and I'm, you know, sort of a newbie. I need to like take a second before I'm just like, it's time to kill. But
A little more cautious optimism.
yes.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit because you guys went to the winery and that went fairly well. Well,
For me, it was fine.
but you lost another friend.
Yeah. I played some excellent taps for him. It was fine.
Yeah. Actually, I think I recall that one didn't go off so well. That I don't remember. Was that one? No, it was the one later. Anyway.
No, that was my first taps. That was the beginning of a tradition.
Yep. So
I think.
Nyla now plays taps on her little trumpet every time someone dies, and she's had to do it 4 times now, 3 times now, 3 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
Okay, and so we go to the tower, and then the tower thing happens. Where one of the characters touches a door and nukes himself into next tomorrow, and then or nukes pretty much the party, and then another party member sets off the explosion from hell, where everybody learned what 101 alchemist fire looked like when they blow up, and that wasn't pretty.
Who does that? Who just booby traps it to shit like that? That was
bad. Well, it killed one of the players outright. Just he became a Shishka player.
Nyla was the only one who didn't go to 0. She was the only one. She's with like 7 HP left. She's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was sick. It was really gross. Oh goodness. And then so coming up, last session was probably, I think, in my opinion, one of the most intense sessions roleplay wise that we've had. Especially the ending. You know, I think we were trying to stop that game like an hour and a half to 2 hours before we actually ended it by schedule, and we went on until I think almost 1 in the morning. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't had late sessions, but the roleplay was just. I don't know about you guys, but it felt like, I don't know, I felt really engaged. I felt into the story. I felt nervous, and I was the DM playing the guy. Tell me what you think. What was your experience from last game? And let the listeners know, because they probably don't have an idea what happened going into Krezk.
Are you talking about from like Nyla's perspective or like my personal perspective?
Sure, both, whatever. What the hell?
Okay. So recap. We went to what's the town's name? I'm sorry.
Krezk.
Krezk. Okay. So walk in. They seem very against outsiders in general. Kind of talk our way in. And then the Baron and his wife sort of like, okay, I mean, you can stay, because we offered to do some manual labor and kind of earn our way. They call themselves a self-sufficient town, so we're just like, give us a bed and some food, and we'll chop some wood and do some chores. So we kind of go off. Some of us just kind of wander around. Ryan's character decides to pull a classic Ryan character and wander far away.
It has a name now.
I know he's brand new. I don't have the notes, and he's only been around for one session, so I don't have it memorized. I'm sorry,
So
Ryan.
the classic Ryan character, poor guy.
He's
a stereotype now.
Okay, well, I mean, just you don't know. Like I said, I first started playing D&D because a couple people at a wedding wanted to start a campaign. Well, I'm talking about that campaign and that homebrew world. Ryan had a very very personality-filled barbarian who was just. I will never just. I don't want to like say any. I don't want to say anything, and I don't want to say he's like, it's just too. It's more information than you need, but basically. It reminds me a lot of that character who had a big personality and was very memorable. So it's kind of like that. So that's why I say classic Ryan character. But anyways, so we were just in the town. And dinner time goes around. We go have dinner at the house, and then a lady in town goes into labor, and the Baron's wife has to go and assist, and then me and I'm totally drawing a blank. I do know the name of our cleric.
Do you?
Okay, well, actually, we have 3 now. So we have 3 now. So
That's what happens when everybody dies.
Yes. Weirdly, I know he's a cleric of Moradin, and I don't know his actual name. So I remember that at least. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm so bad. I blame the beer. I'm gonna blame the beer now. So why are you supposed to make me think and walked away? Also,
I was
rude.
telling people that you guys started way over here in the east side of Barovia. So this is a map of Barovia.
Okay.
And that you guys have literally traveled almost to the very west side, and you guys are right on the border here at Krezk. So it's kind of interesting. I can't even remember when we started playing, but you guys have definitely traversed the map. So pretty much east to west, not much north to south, but
yeah.
Anyway.
We've gone on the scenic route. We've seen half of Barovia at this point, I'm sure.
All right, so going back to Krezk, and I'll pull up the Krezk map so people can take a look at the town.
Okay. So
it's
this town that's on like a mountainside-ish, large hill. Everyone has a different definition of a mountain depending on how mountainous their home state is. So, because people say the Guadalupe Mountains are mountains, but growing up in California, I've seen actual mountains. So, we'll see about that. So we were, dinner time. The Baron and his wife invite us. We go to, a couple of us, including Nyla, go to the woman in labor's house to see the birth. And we're there. We witness the birth, and then it gets really awkwardly quiet, and we're told the baby's born without a soul.
What?
What? Yeah, what?
What? That doesn't seem right at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's some weird soul shit, so I'm sensing a theme, Micah, in Barovia. Souls can't escape when they die. The first town we were in, the souls just, rose up and walked around at, midnight. And then in Krezk, just some babies are just born without souls. It's okay, this is normal. No, it's not normal. So, a lot of soul stuff going on. But yeah, so we're there and we hear about the, and then someone comes to the house, one of the other party members, I forget which one, and tells us basically that this mysterious person called the Abbot, who we only briefly heard about. We heard, show us the low-key celestial picture of him. But
You haven't seen this part yet, but he looks like this right now.
yeah. So, totally normal dude with magic powers, totally.
Yeah, but anyway, keep going. Nothing.
But so we're told that we were told briefly at dinner about the abbot that he is this guy who kind of like came and like took over the abbey, but he's like really mysterious and kind of weird, and there's like rumors he might work for Strahd. So it's just kind of like we don't know a lot about this dude, but he sounds suspicious. And his name is just the Abbot. So anyone who just has like a title for a name, like those are mysterious, weird people. Always be suspicious of them.
So judgmental.
Hey, I've seen a lot of sci-fi and fantasy. Like that's
how it is.
That's how it is. Yes. But so our party member comes in and says the abbot showed up to the Baron's house and he's offering to like necromancy their dead child back to life. And I believe the word necromancy was used.
By the way, Winter Snow says souls are overrated anyway.
That's true. They just tie you down, really. But
Damn.
to be born without. But
keep going. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So where was I? So the guy. So I believe the word necromancy was used. I know meta because I was there when they were actually having the conversation when the abbot arrived that he just said he was going to resurrect their dead child. But I mean, some dude just shows up and says he's going to bring your dead kid back to life. First thought is necromancy, and he low-key might work for Strahd, so necromancy. So I would have jumped to the same conclusion. So Nyla hears the word necromancy and just poof, she's gone. She is running back to confront the necromancer. And I mean, for the most part, necromancy is bad. It's evil.
For the most part, explain.
For the most part, and Ryan and I had a discussion about necromancy and the morals of it. And
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And Ryan can be weirdly convincing sometimes, and basically now I think necromancy, if it's not for evil purposes, it might be okay.
Okay.
I don't know. You talk to Ryan about the morals of necromancy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Winter says necromancy, the best type of mancy.
So, but anyways, Nyla's just like gone, gonna stab this dude. Just kind of, does a sweet like kick in the door, heroic like you hear this like dun 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 music like in your head in the back. And she can kind of confronts him. The rest of the party's there. The Gildan 2.0 is like super PO'd. Will's character. And basically it's mentioned, someone mentions that he's a celestial, and it just kind of gets awkward because it's awkward, when you want to smite evil, you want to do away with bad dudes, and then you have the crying parents right there. It's like it's a big moral dilemma. It's like, you see the crying parents, and this guy is like, I'm not doing necromancy, and then it's like in the crying parents, and they're trying to kick you out, and you're like,
but he's evil.
Yeah, and you're like, and then you have the other guy who's just like, I don't think we should fight this guy, and you're just like, what? And then also, but there's crying parents, and then there's like, what? And it becomes all befuddled, and basically it's not black and white anymore. So I kind of, Nyla just was like, I don't think this is black and white, and As long as it's not some weird necromancy. So she takes a step outside. Ryan's new character, again, haven't memorized names yet. My apologies. Steph's. Oh,
Here.
it's my.
Yeah, I was showing your character sheet. Anyway,
Yeah.
keep going.
But and he comes and basically, so she realizes that the air is tense. She's not welcome. Not everything's black and white, but she's still suspicious. So she waits outside, just because it's all it's uneasy. She's not just gonna go to sleep for the night. She's like, there's some fuckery up in here. So, but then Ryan's character comes. The first question I think she asked was, "So what happened? Like, was it necromancy? Like, did what happened?" And he said, "No, it wasn't necromancy. He just straight up revived the kid. He just and it seemed, holy or like healing, healing magic, not necromancy." So it was like, okay. But some of the things he said when talking to the party, he seemed he still seems suspicious. He still seemed, like there was a lot he was hiding. So, as of right now, Nyla's like, okay, he's not straight up like a bad guy. He's not, he's not like a bad guy. He's not like a horrible evil that needs to be dealt with immediately. But there's definitely, he's doing some weird shit. And gotta figure that. Gotta learn more. So Nyla wants to learn more about this guy. Like she's prepared to like go up to the Abbey and sort of like check things out there. But I think right now it's like I said, it's not black and white, it's gray. It's some weird stuff is happening, but she doesn't quite know what it is, and she can't actually figure out what the next course of action is until she has more information. So
there it is. So it's gonna be. I think it'll be really interesting what happens tomorrow. It actually is interesting in that it could, it could end up like hurting. I don't know. What would be really interesting is if it has an effect on the party from a standpoint of potentially creating some tension between the differing opinions. I mean, we saw that clash that happened between Zuden and Will's new character too, Kazarad, and you and your reaction and everybody's reaction. So it'll be interesting when we pick up tomorrow, kind of see where everybody's at, and especially now that the mayor or
the Baron,
leaders of the Baron of the city, the Burgermeister is, they couldn't be more happy with the abbot at this point. I can't remember in the last session if he said what he needed. Did he tell you guys what the exchange was? And what was that?
So he wanted a wedding dress. Yeah.
Suspicious.
So yeah. I have two main theories, but it'll remain to be seen what happens.
Are you gonna share the theories?
I can, I guess.
Are they deep and dark and secret?
Yeah. So theory one is it's involved in some sort of weird, just like a magic ritual, of some unknown thing. And he's I think I'm trying to remember what was said, meta versus in game, but I got the feeling that he's also trapped here in Barovia, despite how powerful he is. So maybe it has something to do with that, or him just trying to like live a comfortable life in Barovia. Second theory is, I know we've all talked as just like a group, not in party, but just sort of like around the table about how much like classic vampire themed Curse of Strahd is based off of. And I mean, I've read Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've seen enough pop culture about the the vampire who lives forever. He's lonely. He tries to marry a human. And so Arena seems to be the apple of his eye, as far as we know. I'm feeling like there's a wedding planned. So it just, it's kind of just the pieces coming together. It's the first time anyone's talked about a wedding or any of that kind of nature. So I'm wondering if it's for Arena, and that's. We'll see, and or it could be just some third unknown reason that I can't even fathom at this point. I don't know. So that's my theory. I don't know where we're gonna need a wedding dress.
Yeah, it's that, or you're gonna make the abbot mad. I don't know if you want to make the abbot mad.
Yeah, I mean, we can do like some sort of. We can get some fabric, and we can do we can roll a couple really good skill checks. We can make
I'm Nyla Summerhane. I am the destroyer of evil and ultimate paladin of my ancestors, and I also am a great seamstress.
So we're opening the first bridal shop in Barovia.
Someone has to repair y'all's shit. I mean, you know the crap I'm talking. All right, so my favorite time and yours for those folks listening. Make sure to ask any questions. Oh, there's an interesting. Why buy a wedding dress when you can use disguise? All right. Okay. All right. So now my favorite time of the show. What you think about the other characters? So as Nyla, what does Nyla think of Bruin? So two things. One is you're gonna say the first word that comes to your mind when I say a character, and then just describe what Nyla thinks about him. You ready? You ready?
So first word that comes to mind, and then general description of Nyla's thoughts.
Exactly. You ready? Bruin Boozbeard.
Beer.
Fair enough.
I mean, talks about a lot. His last name is Boozbeard. It comes to mind a lot. I'm sure that is his intention, his character. But I mean, so far, it's talks about a lot, can get a little annoying, but I mean, everyone's got a hobby. Nyla is not super judgmental about it. But I mean, otherwise he seems like an okay dude. He fights with honor. He's a little short.
God damn.
I mean, as a dwarf, that was just a dwarf joke. I'm sorry. It's hard being the only elf. Everyone's always like rolling more dwarves, and I'm just lonely.
Lonesome dwarf.
Lonesome elf. No one's expecting a half elf or anything.
You ready
It's
for
lonely.
the next one?
Okay.
Zuden.
It's holier than thou a word. That's one.
It works. We'll go with.
I mean, he's a cleric. It comes with the territory. But no, he seems. Everyone says that like Nyla is the leader sometimes, or the face of the party.
Pious.
But I really think Zuden is kind of the de facto leader, sort of.
Okay.
He's definitely like the he kind of directs the group. He talks about stuff to us. He explains stuff. So he's we're like a bunch of kindergartners, and he's our teacher, and he's like, "Hey kids, that's why we can't do this."
I know
It's like,
it sounds
no,
like fun.
Let's not stab the celestial being. Let's not do that. And so yeah, it's Nyla has no issues with him.
All right. You ready for your next one?
Yeah, the other ones are gonna be hard since Nyla's known them for a very short amount of time.
I'll do you a favor, and we'll talk about the dead. How's that?
About the what?
About the dead. We'll use the characters that you're familiar with. Okay.
That's fair. I probably have some initial thoughts in just the one session I've had with the other characters, but
We'll save it for next go round.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Mel.
That was when I was the kindergarten teacher, and Mel was a preschooler.
Wow.
Sorry, Mel. I mean, I know Mel had his reasons for the things he did. You know, I really hope Ryan's not listening. Hopefully not. Let's just shit on him. Let's just shit on his character.
That's alright.
Yeah, but I have to live with him. Like, there's like lasting consequences for being mean. But it's fine, whatever.
Just tell the truth. Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is. Yeah, so I mean, Mel just seemed a little autistic. Sorry if that offends anyone. That is just the word that keeps popping in my head. He just didn't seem like he thought about what he did, like, in the long term. He just seemed very, like, in the moment, I'm gonna do this. He rolled a lot of bad stealth checks for a rogue, so it's just like, why are you? Why? Like, what do you do? He definitely, developed a lot of, like, fun personality traits. Sleeping in trees, being weird. He started definitely to go downhill in the end mentally. That was, after all the people dying around him, and especially after the card explosion. He just started whittling over and over again. I was like, that's concerning. I'm not a psychiatrist, but that's concerning. So, I mean, Nyla doesn't really hate anyone who is, on the same general path as her, as, ridding the land of evil, saving people, smiting evil, bad people, justice in general. So she just wished that people weren't so weird sometimes.
Fair enough. All right. You ready for your next one?
Okay.
Gildan. May you rest in peace.
Pieces. And sorry, Gildan.
Continue.
I don't know, Gil. I don't think Nyla was able to form a very strong opinion of him. I mean, like I said, she recognized that he was about doing good, and I feel like a broken record when I say that, but I mean, I think a lot of our characters are pretty, like, good oriented, doing, killing bad guys, smiting evil, that kind of thing. I mean, I smite, but generalized.
Yeah,
getting rid of
Yep.
people. I smite. It's for me only, no one else. As a paladin.
It's my special thing. Don't take it away from me.
Yeah. Wait, we have another paladin now, don't we?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to have a brother in arms. Still,
Brothers,
is my
brother and smiting.
smite together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, I just I felt like she thought he had an interesting background. She didn't know that much about it, but he seemed like there was something going on. He didn't speak enough about it though, but she was just like, what's his deal?
Yeah. And then let's do another one. Another may he rest in peace. Felix.
Smart mouth. No word. I forgot to use a word before, but yeah, that's for Felix.
Okay.
Just yeah, very confident, which can be a good and bad thing. you know, and just a little. He definitely seemed a little sneaky. Like he was like up to some shit, and I'm trying my best to separate what I know meta versus in character. But you know, he talks a lot, and he just like, I need to go and like I need to do some stuff, and I was just like, okay. And I mean, I was told in meta that he was stealing from the party. I was like, okay, well, if that ever happens, he's literally dead because I will kill him because he's a thief and he's stealing from us. That I was surprised too. I was like, you know, I see all the D&D memes and I was like, that's what Mel's supposed to do. What do you mean the wizard's doing it? Like, I'm gonna stab him.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, stabby will get you stabby. All right, and last but not least, and you're the first one I'm trying this on, so how it goes.
Oh crap.
Now you've got to do Nyla.
What do you...
First word that comes to your mind when you think about Nyla, and how would you describe how you feel about her?
This is like when they ask you what's your greatest weakness in a job interview.
Yeah, pretty much.
God, I hate it.
Congratulations, you're my first victim.
Diverging is coming to mind. And maybe that's just because I walked in the campaign with a certain, like, you know, certain ideal of my character, and just everything. And like I said, it's just part of the deal is, you know, character growth and character development. You know, we're like a well-written novel or TV show if people actually know how to do that. But yeah, I mean, because I liked it, you know, in the beginning, I would have thought like righteous, you know, justice, all those classic paladin words, like that was my, you know, fervent was good. I always imagined her as being like seeing a werewolf and just being like, yeah, it's time to kill it, and that kind of thing. But as everything's progressed, it's you know, it's changed. She's changed. She's developed some PTSD, some major guilt about the things she's done, or, you know, the friends that have died. And so she, you know, started off as fervent in the quest to smite evil, but now it's just
Smite evil with a side of survival?
yeah, it's just like, I want to, but there's some messed up shit going on, and one bad move and it's my last. And as awesome as my ancestors are, I can't, you know, and there's the whole thing, like, she can't talk to her ancestors as well. Like, even if they weren't pissed at her for becoming a werewolf at one point, it's really hard just to communicate with them in this bubble of evil that is Barovia. So
Boy, they're gonna have quite a few things to tell you when they can finally talk to you.
I'm sure they weren't there though. They don't know. Dad.
You don't think they see everything? They just can't talk. You should see it. It's like they're doing the MST3K, watching, you know, through your eyes, going like, and heckling you like crazy the whole time. That's what's really going on. So.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
So
yeah.
That's before the curse. Tomorrow we come back, we play. We'll see what happens with the abbot. Hey abbot, I can't help but do that every time. At least the abbot doesn't talk like a puppet, or a muppet.
Oh, that was the best. Every town should have a Muppet voice character.
We'll try to see if we can't find another one in Krezk, but so far. So back here tomorrow for those of you watching. We'll be beginning the stream at 7 o'clock, and really 7 Central, and really looking. So anybody online, it's now, I'm pointing over to where my chat box is. My chat box is up here. It's up there in Nyla. There we go. If you got any questions for Nyla, aka Catherine, now's your time. Y'all been way too nice to her, so next time I expect you guys to do a lot more. Jameson, thanks for your time tonight, both of you. Thanks, man. Glad that you checked it out and enjoyed the stream. check us out tomorrow when we actually get into the curse. It's going to be an adventure. It should be a good time. Pretty intense game tomorrow, I think, coming up. So I'm really looking forward to it. I always give the victim, I mean the interviewee, the last word. So what are your last words, Nyla?
Just excited to see what happens next and how many times we can escape by the hair of our teeth. Or whatever that phrase is. I don't know. Hair of our
chins, maybe?
Hair of our chins?
Hair of teeth? That sounds like
Skin of
you're
our
drinking
teeth!
too
That's
much.
what I'm thinking of. Skin of our teeth. Okay.
Skin of our teeth. All right.
Wow. Whatever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here at Before the Curse. Tune in tomorrow as our wayward soldiers take on Barovia one more time to see if they'll survive or if Barovia will claim yet more victims. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks again, Nyla.
Got it.